What's happening, guys? All right, UFC 281 is done and dusted, and I thought I'd do a reaction video. Obviously, plenty to talk about. Crazy card, you know, a lot of highs and lows. Obviously, lows with a couple of the boys not getting up. A couple of the boys got up, but crazy card nonetheless. I'll get into a few of them. Obviously, Carlos did a great job. I think he invested in them kicks as well. Them kicks were on the legs were hurting him, and then that left jab and the hook fading off to his left, the power hand, outside the power hand, I thought was great, and caught him. Like I like to do that myself, but I don't usually knock people out, but that just shows you how heavy Carlos's hands are. Sort of jabbed and faded out and just caught him with the left hook and just sat him down, which was pretty cool. Man, plenty happened, right? You had the double knockdown.
Well, you have to, right? He's lost. Oh!
Double knockdown, crazy fight, a lot of crazy fights, but I can't get through them all, right? I want to keep it short and sweet for you guys, but I will get into, obviously unfortunate for Brad. I think he's gone through a bit of a rough patch, and I think he needs a little bit of time off. He's been saying he wants a bit of a time off and just wants to find that love for the sport again. I think he's been struggling with that, so big shout out to Brad, he's a man. I'm going to butcher this guy's name again, Claudio. There you go, I'll just say Claudio. Claudio trying to fall into the heel hooks and leg locks, which I'm sure the boys would have been training a lot for. You could see he was obviously getting frustrated because he couldn't find the range, couldn't get in close on Dan Hooker. So yeah, he was really struggling. So he started just falling into the heel hooks, and then even grabbed the leg and was even able to get him in some bad positions, but Dan just resilient and just like composed, and I think he even had the leg in some bad spots, but didn't phase him, got back up and then just started touching him up. And I loved when he started investing in that front kick. Obviously that's what ended up hurting him, but not only because it's a good effective kick that hurts, I thought it was a great idea to make it very hard for Claudio to just fall into leg locks. If I'm falling while I'm worrying about a kick coming up, I can fall straight into this heel. It looks like a knee's coming. I can't attack there because this is coming in a flat line. Imagine attacking someone while something's coming straight up and coming up hard on you. So that would have made him very hesitant to want to fall into the leg locks. And then not just that, setting it up with like right hands into, like I think if right hand followed up with the front kick, seen in the highlights, and then just sat him. He hurt him a couple of times with it, but I thought it was a great idea investing in that. Purely because, yeah, it's effective, that's what hurt him, that's what dropped him. But not just that, again, I thought it made it very hard for Claudio to start wanting to fall into them leg locks. Because, yeah, you couldn't just rush in because them front kicks were obviously keeping him at bay and coming up at a bad angle, which would have been very awkward and very scary for Claudio to actually just fall into, knowing that this up kick's coming straight up. So I thought that was very effective for Dan, and was pretty incredible. Man, there's so many good fights. Frankie Edgar, Chris, man, he looked untouchable. I think, I don't think many fighters in that division was going to beat Chris on that night. He was on from the get-go. Sharp, movement, you name it. Everything was firing. I don't think there's anything Frankie could have done, you know what I mean? Again, that guy, that Chris that turned up was a nightmare for anyone in that division. That is how on he was. It was just unfortunate for Frankie Edgar's last fight. And that knee was incredible, man. Crazy, hard to watch, but I mean, wow. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy, but again, Chris looked beautiful. Sharp, fast, everything, the timing of it, everything he threw was perfect. His reactions and all different type of counters, you name it, he was just on. Again, there's not many people that would have beat him that night. We're gonna move on to Chandler, Dustin Poirier, crazy fight. We all knew that was going to happen. Starting off, Dustin. See, that's the thing when you break down fights, right? You break down fights and go off what they usually do. Sometimes they're going to change that, right? Especially when you respect someone like Chandler's power. I thought Dustin, he likes to feel people out and he uses his hands. He can still be a little bit aggressive early. He doesn't mind, setting up combos early. A lot of people feel it out, stay that little bit longer and all that. I felt like sometimes he can get carried away a little bit early. He showed Chandler that respect and didn't do that. But Chandler still obviously rocked him because he's so explosive. So I knew he was going to be very dangerous there. But I thought, once I seen that, I thought this is going to be a good night for Dustin. Because, yeah, he fought smart. He was, you know, he knew again, he respected the power of Chandler and then wanted to slow him down and then get that finish in the later rounds, which is exactly what he did. I think you could say he might have been behind or it might have been one apiece. But, yeah, man, crazy fight, crazy ending, got the rear naked again. Like, he could have finished however he sort of wanted. Once they were that hurt and that tired, Chandler, again, is very explosive. He invested a lot in power and the takedowns and all that. And there's only one way that can go when you're that explosive. And you're going to eventually slow down with that fast twitch. So that's exactly what happened. I thought Dustin did a great job on showing that respect and then worrying about, you know, staying patient and things coming later in the fight, which it did. He ended up hurting Chandler in the first round anyway. But again, if he come aggressive, I don't think it would have went that far, which he didn't. So that was pretty good to watch. And then we've got Wei Lee, Sparza. I knew that was going to happen. And again, no disrespect to Sparza. I just know that Wei Lee she's been training there at Bang Tao, doing a lot of wrestling. And I was talking to the boys and they're saying like she's just explosive, strong. And I'm like, from what I've seen of Wei Lee as well, I just knew that she wouldn't get taken down. I knew that even if she got taken, she would get straight back. Even when she did get taken down, like in the fight, she was just so strong. Just bullied her way off the mats and got straight back up. And once I seen that earlier in the round, I was like, man, this guy. Well, I actually said before the fight, this is going to be a quick one. I think I was saying it to Leon Edwards. He goes, quick, you reckon? I go, yeah, man. I go, Wei Lee's just too explosive, man, too powerful. So I expect the finish, early finish, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. I knew on the feet she would be too dangerous, and I even saw ground and pound and things like that. I thought, like, you know, she would shoot, she would end up on top and just be too much. Then obviously the main event, Izzy and Pereira, crazy fight, back and forth. Yeah, you know, I thought Izzy was looking good. I thought he was doing some good stuff in there. Showed a bit of wrestling and things like that, and to be honest, I thought he was cruising to a victory. I thought like that last round, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna, you know, you could see it was going downhill for Pereira. You could see who the better fighter what it was. Obviously, Pereira was always going to be dangerous. Izzy, you know, obviously doing his thing. You know, he was definitely taking some risks in there against someone as dangerous as Pereira. Was working well, and sometimes I think I was talking to Izzy, and Izzy said that he invested in some kicks and that, and his leg ended up going numb. Obviously, you've seen him when he threw a kick, come back, and his leg sort of collapsed. I think he ended up hitting maybe one of the nerves, and he was saying that was affected him a little bit. So maybe that was why he struggled to evade so much on the cage. I'm not too sure, but yeah, unfortunate. You know, obviously Izzy's my boy, and to me, again, like, you know, like Pereira's dangerous. You always knew he had that puncher's chance, but it's funny when you see someone, you can see who's a better fighter. But again, this is MMA, you know what I mean? And all you need is one punch, and he tagged Izzy. And Izzy was like, obviously copping big shots. He was still hanging in there, trying to do it. Obviously, he was very hurt. Izzy said, you know, he thought it was a little bit early, but he respects his coaches as well. I think his coaches were like, look, you know, your health is more important anyway. So he copped on the chin, and something I really respect about Izzy that I guess you can see in his interviews and all that, the way he's taken it. Got a lot of respect for Izzy, the way he's held himself after a loss like that, after losing the belt, after being so dominant for so long. You know, I was saying me and him were, like I've been talking about me and him sharing the pound for pound spot. We were the pound for pound kings, because I truly believe he deserved that spot as well, because he was unstoppable in his division and how many defenses he had. But yeah, that's the game, man. That's why people love this sport. Anything can happen. Being behind that much, fifth round, get the win like that, it's crazy. Obviously, Leon with Usman, crazy sport, man. But that's why we love it. I know Izzy will be back. I'm sure we'll get that rematch. I think it'll be clever for the UFC to do the rematch straight away, just so you can do the rematch. Yeah, you wouldn't want Pereira to go fight someone else. Imagine if he loses, and then, like, you know, you can't have that rematch. It's not going to have as much hype. So I'm hoping that rematch happens. Again, I'd be very confident in that fight. Even though Izzy, well, you could look at Izzy, you could say Izzy's down 3-0 against this guy, right? He is. But again, from what I've seen, I still believe Izzy's the better fighter. it's just, you just got to be careful with Pereira. I guess Pereira is just one dangerous motherfucker. So respect to him. But again, nothing but love to Izzy. He'll be back. That's my breakdown of UFC 281. Hey, we locked in for 284. I'm going to do a reaction video on that as soon as possible and give you a rundown. I've already done some sessions as soon. I just jumped off the plane, got here, went to the gym. I am absolutely buzzing for this. I'm going to give you a proper reaction for my UFC 284 official fight. It's happening. Champ, let's go.